In today's episode of the New Era podcast, I have the pleasure of speaking with the incredible Bobbie Edwards, but most of you will know her as Bobbie Be Fit. Bobbie is a huge inspiration as she is not only a successful female entrepreneur, but she is also an online fitness coach, the proud owner of a women's-only gym, a value-driven social media content creator, and she has also built an amazing, engaging social media presence and community. Her inspiring journey has been featured on BBC in the episode Young, Welsh and Bossing It, and Bobbie is the living proof that with determination, hard work, and a positive attitude that anyone can achieve their dreams. Her success story is a source of motivation and inspiration for all young aspiring entrepreneurs. So without further ado, let's get into it. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Good,
How are you?
Good. I'm good. It's been a long time coming.
I know, we've needed this chat for a while.
I think we have. So we'll tell everyone 2020, I think, was when we first
Yeah,
got in
it
contact
was.
with each other.
That was when we first kind of like met, let's say.
COVID.
I know, literally.
I know, so here we are today. So I want to get straight into it and I want people to kind of know the story of you.
Okay.
So what is the earlier story of Bobbie? If I didn't know you at all, I want to know the earlier story.
Okay, so basically, Bobbie was never really kind of Bobbie Be Fit straight away. I've always kind of been like this, not necessarily shy, but a little bit reserved. I wasn't kind of this woman that was oozing with confidence. I was just kind of a little bit like kept myself to myself. But I was just a young girl that just had a lot of drive, a lot of ambition, a lot of goals. And I kind of just like turned to fitness very young. So I started training, no lie, I think I must have been about 13, 14 years old. It's very young, isn't it? To start the gym. I didn't have a clue what I was doing though, to be fair. And yeah, I just kind of turned to the gym and I feel like it's made me this person I am today.
Yeah, I can relate to that though, because my dad was a bodybuilder when I was younger.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's had me in the gym since I was like 4, just looking at things like what is going on.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I can relate to that. But you've killed it. You've
Thank you
absolutely
very
killed
much.
it. So what was it that made you get into fitness? Was it just a confidence thing or?
Do you know what? I don't actually know. And I get asked this question quite a lot, like kind of what influenced you?
Yeah.
And I've always just kind of, you know, when you walk past the gym room and I'm just like, that looks really cool in there. I'd love to be in there.
Yeah.
And then when, because I think you have to be 16 to use, you can't just go in on your own. So as soon as I turned 16, I thought, I'm going in. And then honestly, I've been ever since.
Really?
Something just clicked with me and I just loved it. That's literally, that's pretty much it. I just kind of was drawn to it from a very young age.
And you find happiness in it.
Absolutely. I feel like I can't live without it now.
Yeah.
It literally
it's
is my life.
It's instilled in you now, isn't it? Especially because you work in it. So everyone knows. How old are you now?
I'm 24.
See, 24, guys. So looking back, when was it that you launched Bobbie Be Fit?
So Bobbie Be Fit launched when I was 19.
19, and were you a PT before?
No. So I was actually a hairdresser.
Were you?
Yeah, very
this.
odd. I know not a lot of people know this. So I worked in a salon as like a Saturday girl.
Yeah.
From like the age of 12, no lie. I've always worked. And then I qualified as a hairdresser at 17, 18. So I did that like for quite a long time.
Okay.
And then I went to be a receptionist.
I had no idea about this.
Very weird. Do you know when you're just trying to find your feet and you don't really know what you want to do with your life yet? So then I literally went from hairdressing to a receptionist. And then, but I've always trained. So I knew that something, like I was more drawn towards doing something in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
And then when I was 19, I thought I'm going to do it. And I just booked a course, passed. And then literally as soon as I passed my qualification, I handed in my notice and just became a coach.
I think that's what takes people so long to figure out themselves. So like you've started working from a young age, you've had it instilled in you that you've got to work hard to achieve things, but then you've managed to figure out what you enjoy at a young age to then act on that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think so many people struggle with finding their feet.
I think that's the hardest thing. And I feel like I'm quite lucky. I found out kind of what I thrive for and what I love at a young age.
Yeah.
Because I think people, I mean, you never really know kind of what you want to do. You don't have to know straight away.
No.
But I think in the aspects of being lucky, I think I am. just because I loved it, and I just knew that that's something that I was going to pursue.
But I think you were lucky in the aspect that people will look at you and say you're lucky that you've achieved what you've done.
Yeah.
But it's also because you've found your feet earlier on.
Absolutely.
And started working so young that you've managed to find your feet now at a young age.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with you.
I think that'll happen more often now though, because there's so many young people that are working hard earlier on in comparison to say 15, 20 years ago.
No, they are. And I feel like a lot of young people are starting to become entrepreneurs and they want to work hard. Yeah. Like I get so many inquiries of young girls like 16, 17, 18 years old wanting to join the gym or have a coach. And I think it's crazy because when I first started training, when I was about 16, nobody else trained. It was just, I'd be going to the gym by myself every day. Nobody came with me.
It wasn't a thing.
It wasn't, and it's such a big thing now. I think it's amazing, don't get me wrong. I think it's absolutely unreal. But back in the day, like, nobody trained.
Do you think that's social media?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it has a very strong influence on women wanting to look good, wanting to get strong, 100%.
Yeah, I think it can work in two ways, that can't it? It can work in a positive way and a negative way.
Absolutely.
I think in the same way that working hard when you're younger, you can either work really hard or kind of just go
cruise
along. You can either make or break. So I think what I personally love about you is that if I look at what Aventus is all about, it's all about the agency side of things. We've got the mentorship where it's training coaches, business owners, creators. You're all three. You are literally you've just become an online coach 8 weeks ago.
Yeah,
is it?
8 weeks ago.
Was it January? February? What we just
February.
February. You're a creator, so your content is insane, and you're an entrepreneur. So how is it that you juggle all hats?
Okay, so I feel like nobody really knows what they're doing until you're in it.
Yeah.
And I've always said this to a lot of people. I've not pretty much winged it, but I pretty much just do what I do every day, and it's got me to here.
Yeah.
But in terms of kind of juggling all three, I would say you've just got to be not necessarily on the ball, but you just have to prioritize a lot of time to make it work. But yeah, it's just, I feel I am lucky in terms of I have winged it as well.
Do you know what? I don't even think that means you're lucky. Like everyone I've spoke to always says I've winged it. Every single person I've spoke to, I've winged it. Like I spoke to do you know P. Louise?
Yes.
So I went to one of her events. Now she does 6 million organically on TikTok every single month.
That's oh my God.
And she literally sits there and says, I wing it.
Yeah.
She will always say, I have no idea how I've got here. I've winged the entire journey. But I think it's the consistency.
Absolutely.
It's not the plan, it's the consistent and remaining consistent. And if you know what you want, you will continue to just drive at it.
100%.
And that's, since I've known you, that's all I see is you're constantly talking about one thing. So everyone knows what you're about. And you just smash it.
Absolutely. And I think when you've got so much passion for it, it's not that difficult to kind of want to push on it every day and want to work on it. And I think that's another reason why it's important to love what you do.
Yeah.
Because you will put your heart and soul into it. So no, I agree.
Definitely. Do you think that, so when you were younger, obviously you started working young, do you think there's always been some sort of entrepreneurial side in you that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I've always wanted to be my own boss.
Yeah.
That's always just kind of been like something in my mind that I thought that's what I'm going to do. And I hate working for somebody else. Yeah. When I worked as a receptionist, and I remember I asked my boss if I could have these dates off to do my PT course, and he said no. And I was like, how could you?
Because that was your future.
That was like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But because he was my boss, he had every right to say no. He was like, you can't have these dates off.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I don't want to experience that again.
Yeah.
So I just thought, right, this is it. And it kind of motivated me more to be my own boss.
Because you're in control. You're in control, whereas then he was in control of you. And even though you were young and he probably knew you were meant for more.
Yeah.
He wanted to.
No, 100%. Yeah. So it definitely pushed me in terms of like, I'm not letting somebody tell me what to do again. It is.
Crazy. So with what you've got going on now, obviously you've got the gym, you are a creator, you're a coach. What was it that made you transition over to become an online coach?
Okay, so basically it was quite a difficult transition because the gym is like my baby, and I always have that face-to-face coaching. That's what I pretty much started with. So it was difficult for me to do it, but if I wanted to scale and help more women, you're limited when you are face-to-face coaching every single day. I mean, I used to do about 14 hours of PT a day, and that absolutely kills you. As much as I love my job, I love my girls, there's only one of me.
Yeah.
And it takes so much energy, time. And I was finding that I wasn't focusing on my own training. I wasn't that happy, even though I loved my job. It was just taking a toll.
Yeah.
Now, the transition to online is I can help as many women as I possibly can. I've got more time. It's so much more structured, and I can just scale my business a lot more.
Yeah.
So that's why I made the transition.
I think that's a good point that you've made there, that you've built something that you love, but you end up trying to help everyone and there's only one of you.
Exactly.
So in the gym, you can burn out. What's your views on burnout?
It's real. It's 100% real. It happens. And you feel so deflated, and you feel like, and you get like extremely overwhelmed.
Yeah. No matter how much you love something and you put your all into it. And I think people can say, oh, you need to work harder, not smarter. No, work smarter, not harder. I always get that the wrong way around. But it's such a big thing, because burnout, you don't realise it until it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mental. Okay, so this brings me on to my next question about burnout. So how do you deal with becoming overwhelmed? Because you've only just become an online coach, but how do you think you'll be able to deal with still running the gym, the coaching?
So me being overwhelmed happens quite a lot.
Yes, that's fine.
I'm quite dramatic sometimes. I remember I hit, this was last year, when I was doing online coaching, running the gym, running boot camps. I was running a live page as well. I had so much going on. I remember last year I hit my target with online. It was one of my best months ever.
Yeah.
And I got so upset. I cried my eyes out because I was successful. Now, that sounds so silly, but I just did not know how to manage it. And I thought I wasn't being the best entrepreneur I could be, and I wasn't giving my clients the best of me because I was just taking on too much.
Yeah.
But because when you do have your own business, it is your own baby, you want to take everything, you'll take it all. You'll be like, yes, so if someone wants to sign up, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But reality, you have to say no sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you can't, when you've got too much workload on, it will crash.
Yeah.
So in terms of how to manage it, don't take on too much of a high workload. You just need to kind of do what's okay for you.
Definitely. We were talking about this the other day in the office. It was about being cash rich, time poor.
Yeah.
But obviously in the beginning, you will take on everything because that monetary side of things is so appealing.
Yeah.
And you think that's what you need as well to scale the business. But then you have to reflect back and say, right, you can damage your business taking too much on by not being able to obviously provide.
No, and I think that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I wasn't providing the best service I could for my girls because I had so much going on. I was creating content, I was doing check-ins, I was doing classes, I was doing lives. It was just like too much. The business was doing great, but I wasn't.
Yeah. And
so
you are the business.
I am the business, And if I'm not doing great, the business isn't going to do great. So you need to find that balance on what's going to work for you.
And prioritise
Absolutely.
your own health as well.
Yeah.
So with the business structure now in the gym, what have you got going on? How many girls have you got?
So we've got 5 coaches there now, and the girls are so good, and it's such a great atmosphere. So the gym's female only. So it's just the presence when you walk in, everybody's so friendly, everybody's so nice, and we're all so welcoming. It runs smoothly.
Yeah.
It runs that well. I don't actually have to be there anymore, which is just amazing. And I never ever thought I would not necessarily leave the gym, but I thought it was going to be a lot harder to kind of not let go of it, but just be like, okay, I'm going to pass it down a little bit. But the girls, they make the gym a better place.
Yeah, I think it's such a good thing that you've been able to establish the mistakes that you've made along the way, built on them. Still, you're only 24.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to look back and go, do you know what? Like, no matter what age it is, that you've absolutely smashed it in that sense, that you've managed to figure out at such a young age. And then you've not kind of let the gym go in terms of letting the girls delegate the work so you can sit back. You've then moved on and gone, right, okay, what's the next step?
Yes.
Online coaching.
Yeah.
Now, you've built such an incredible female community. What was it that empowered you to start a female-only gym?
I think it was the factor of I want women to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first started training that I think everybody who's a beginner or has a little bit of gym anxiety always thinks somebody's going to be watching in the gym.
Yeah.
And to be honest, nobody cares. Like nobody cares. You might get somebody to stare at you for a split second, but it's nothing that people think. And I think I just wanted to create an environment for women where they feel comfortable, welcomed, and that they can come and just be themselves and wear what they want and act how they want to act, and just pretty much just feel really comfortable in that environment. So that's the main reason why I opened a female-only gym.
I think it's amazing, because I can even relate to that. So from being in the gym from an early age, I still felt the same.
Yeah.
So even now, I'm like, I go in the gym and I genuinely still feel watched.
Yeah, it happens.
And I don't know what it is, but you naturally just feel watched. But I think being in a space where you can just be with females. So we've got 2 female-only gyms on the Wirral now.
Yeah.
And there I'll train there. And I actually went to a normal gym yesterday, but I loved it.
Yeah.
There was nothing where I felt as though anyone was watching me, but you get this stigma in your head that there is.
Absolutely.
So it is just being able to overcome that. So I think it's an amazing thing to...
I think everybody experiences gym anxiety. I mean, even though I've been training, pretty much my whole life, and I don't get it anymore.
Yeah.
But I went to Dubai in November, and I went to this like big, scary gym. And when I walked in and I felt this small,
Really?
I wanted the floor to just swallow me up. I walked in on my own. I was in a different country. Like, it was just so scary, and I didn't think I experienced that, but it happens to everybody.
Yeah,
it's just something that you just kind of keep having to remind yourself that you're there for you. Nobody's watching you.
Yeah,
you've just got to crack on.
Do you think it was just overwhelming in terms of the people and
absolutely
how they portray themselves as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's just scary. The gym is a daunting place. If you're not used to it, going in there is like, oh my God, I'm in this scary place.
Yeah, crazy. Do you think so? Obviously, you went to Dubai. What is your views on, obviously, if your focus is on the online coaching, what are your views about potentially working in different places? Because I guess that's now opened you up to be able to work from anywhere. Absolutely.
Well, the little trip to Dubai, because I went for just over 3 weeks in November, the trip was to see if I wanted to move away, because I've never ever been away from my family, my friends before. And I've got my little Romeo at home, my little sausage dog. And I went for 3 weeks just to see if it was for me, because I actually was going to just move out there with my friend.
Yeah.
But I thought, be sensible, go for 3 weeks. And I hated it.
Really?
I hated it. Not necessarily hate. I just missed the gym, my friends, my family. I missed being at home. I just don't know if it's the right time for me to actually move away right now. I mean, never say never, but I am a home bird.
Yeah.
I just know that I'm a home bird.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think that's a good point though, because so many people will look at social media now. Everyone is either in the UK or in Dubai.
Everybody's in Dubai.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's like, so you look at it and go, oh, I need to move there. But I think having that reality check of someone saying, it's not everything.
I think it was quite a lonely place. I mean, every day I was on my own.
Yeah.
I was going to the gym on my own. I was staying with my friend, but she worked all day. And it was just like really scary, really daunting. And I literally just miss my friends and family, and I can't wait to get home.
Back. No, that's sweet. Okay, so what would your advice be on building a successful brand in the new era of social media?
Okay, I'm going to go back to, again, being authentic.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important. And I think social media now, everybody is posting new trends. Everybody's recreating content that's already kind of out there. But going back to kind of you are the brand and people will buy into you, is just be who you are. Definitely. Don't copy, follow trend, try and be somebody else. Just completely be yourself, and people will buy into you. And I think that's how you will scale in social media and do well with it.
Definitely. Instagram or TikTok?
I'm an Instagram girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I mean, TikTok, I find you can spend more time on it.
Yes.
Like you can be on it for hours. But I prefer Instagram. Yeah, that's me.
An OG.
I'm an Insta OG.
So if we throw it back to when you obviously launched the gym.
Yeah.
You launched just before COVID, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
How did that affect
So I opened the gym 3rd of Feb.
Yeah.
And
2020.
2020.
Yes.
And COVID it was like a thing, but it wasn't that serious just yet.
Yeah.
And then 6 weeks later, it was literally like closed.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, again, overwhelmed.
Yes.
It was a big shock because I spent so long doing the gym up. Like I put my heart and soul into it. Like the majority of my savings went into that gym.
Yeah.
And then for it to be closed down, it was just, I felt so I was devastated.
Yeah, you had this plan. And
I just planned to like thrive, but I actually loved lockdown.
Do you know what? So did I.
Yeah. I mean, I had a really, really good lockdown. And when obviously the gym closed, I turned to live workouts.
Yes.
And I genuinely think lockdown boosted my business like massively.
Yeah. So you've seen the opportunity and then you took it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's two ways you can go. When something like devastating happens, you can either hide away with it, or you can just absolutely go for it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going for it.
And that's how we met.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
That's how we met. So you were doing your live workouts and then I approached you to obviously do a live.
I couldn't wait. I was like, get me on. Yeah, absolutely.
I know. So it's good to see how you thrived on that situation because obviously it was a hard time for everyone.
Yeah.
But what I loved about you at that time was you brought that female community together.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's what obviously resonated with Gym Law.
I mean, the lives were so fun.
Yeah.
I was doing 12 lives a week. There was 580 women on the live page. And every day we'd just get together, we'd train 30, 40 minutes from home. It was so fun. And it gave the girls a bit of a purpose in the day. So it kind of broke their day up a little bit. And it just, it kind of, exercise is so important for your mental health.
Yeah,
like 100%. I can't even say how important it is. And I genuinely feel like it kind of kept women sane. It kept me sane, absolutely. But I think it helped so many women during that time.
Definitely. Do you feel as though the business would have excelled as much as it has so fast now without COVID, or do you think that genuinely was the boost it needed in the beginning stages?
I think it was the boost I needed, honestly. I feel like lockdown opened so many new levels for me.
Yeah.
Because I was just this girl that I just opened a gym and all I wanted to do was be in my gym and coach my clients and just spend like all day, every day there. And then obviously everything closed and I just still thrived with it.
It pushed you out your comfort zone.
Yeah,
because then you've had to go on live. You've had to put your face out there. So you've then developed that personal brand by pushing yourself out that comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So proud.
Proud.
So since then, I personally think that social media changed at that point.
Yeah.
At that point. So when the gyms then reopened, how did that then affect the business?
So, I mean, before I was holding, and this is no lie, every class, 50, 60 women would be at my door.
Really?
And there would be because then before I opened my gym, I was in a gym around the corner.
Yeah.
And there'd be a line of women waiting to get in. I had to turn people away sometimes. It was ridiculous. The busiest class I've held is 80 girls. This is in one room. And I loved it. And it just kind of, just gave me this big buzz and it just made me love my job even more. But obviously lockdown, COVID, people were scared to leave.
Yes.
And coming back, and I literally lost 50% of those people.
Yeah.
Because everybody was used to doing online lives, online coaching kind of started to scale a little bit more as well. So it was difficult kind of coming to terms with not many people want to have face-to-face anymore.
Yeah.
I did feel a bit of a hit from it. And I kind of took it a little bit personally as well.
Yeah.
Even though there was like a life crisis going on. I think I not blamed it on myself, but I was like, well, I need to work harder. I need to work smarter now.
Yeah.
So it was a difficult time, but again, found ways around it.
Yeah, found ways around it. That's exactly what we were like with Gym Law. So over lockdown, everyone was buying gym wear because that's what they were prioritising was health. And then as soon as lockdown that was lifted, everyone was like, get me out. I don't want to buy gym wear. I just want to go and enjoy and just be free. So we took a big toll as well on us because it was like, well, no one wants to buy gym wear.
Yeah.
So then you'll notice like a lot of the gym wear competitors were then transitioning gym wear over to how you can style it for everyday use as opposed to wearing it to the gym.
Absolutely.
Because I think that was trying to keep people's heads above the float. But then we were called Gym Law. You wear it in the gym. I know. So it was trying to, so I kind of can relate to that. So you were featured in Young Welsh and Bossing It.
Yeah.
Now, tell me more.
Okay, so basically they, BBC got in contact with me because they were looking for young entrepreneurs that took lockdown and thrived in it, let's say. So they got in contact with me, asked me to do a Zoom, kind of like asked me a few questions, and then I didn't hear back from them. So I thought, oh, they haven't picked me.
Yeah.
And then I got a phone call like a week later saying, right, Bobbie, we're coming to Wales. We're going to film you. We want to hear your story, see the gym. Yeah. So yeah, it was very overwhelming. It was amazing.
Intense.
Yeah.
Do you know, what year was that then?
So that was 2021.
So literally COVID.
Yeah.
You'd opened the year prior.
Yeah.
So
it was like the back end of when I opened the gym. But yeah, no, it was, I loved every second of it. It was scary, but I loved it.
Do you think they'd have reached out to you if it wasn't for your social media presence that you'd grown during COVID?
I don't know. I mean, I'm from a small town. I'm from Colwyn Bay. There's not much going on in Colwyn Bay. But I feel like they reached out to me because they seen kind of what I was offering the girls through lockdown, and because that literally scaled so much. And I was helping so many people. I think I was just spoke about a little bit more, which is great. So I think that's why they actually got in contact with me, because I just pretty much helped like nearly 600 women throughout their lockdown. So I think that's why they actually found me.
That's crazy. Moving on then, with social media, since you've got so much, obviously your business is now on social media with the online coaching. What do you think the positives and the negative impacts are with social media? So in terms of trolling, that type of vibe.
Well, I think there's so many positives, but there also is so many negatives. The positives is you can literally build a relationship with anybody. You can reach out to people. I think it's great. People can follow and watch your journey. So I think it's amazing in terms of what you can build, especially when it comes to building a brand. I think it's incredible what you can do, and so many people will follow and watch your journey. Like it's like sometimes a video goes viral. It's been seen by 50, 60, 70,000 people. I think it's crazy. So in terms of positive, I think it's great in building relationships, meeting new people, connecting with people. But the downside is, yes, you've got trolls. You've got people that don't like you for not for no reason, but you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and you have to accept that. And I think, especially myself, I don't know if you experience it well, but put a lot of pressure on yourself, and looking at like, I say to everybody, comparison is the thief of joy. And when you compare yourself to every single person, or she's doing better than me, or she's got a bigger bum than me, or she drives a nicer car. And I think it can kind of take the fun out of it. So they're the only negatives, but you just have to stay in your lane.
Definitely. I think that's a really good point that you've made there, because it's, when you look at someone on social media, you can either look at that and it can encourage you to work harder, or you can give up.
Absolutely. You go one way or the other. It inspires you, or you just go, right, that's it. I'm terrible at what I do, and you just go and hide away.
Definitely. Or you can then start to try and work in the same way. And because people only share what they want you to say on social
100%.
media, you don't see the bumps in the road. So then you think, well, why have I not achieved that? Why have I not got there by this time?
Absolutely.
But there is so much.
And I completely agree with you. And I think it's hard. I find it difficult to not be proud of what I've achieved, but because there's so much around me, everybody's doing, there's always going to be somebody that's more successful, that's in a better position than you, and you cannot compare yourself to them. And I think sometimes it's difficult to see that, you know what, you've actually done really good. You should be really proud of yourself. But it's difficult just because I feel like social media is pretty much taken over everybody's lives right now.
It has. I think it does consume a lot of people.
Oh, 100%. You can spend, I'll open TikTok and oops, 2 hours later, I'm still on it. And you're like, wasted 2 hours of my, not wasted, but you just get so kind of sucked into this.
So consumed. And I can relate to it I can say, I don't compare myself, but obviously I'm trying to buy a house at the moment. I'm scrolling through all these house renovations on TikTok, and I'm like, oh my God, these are so young. Where have they got the money to do this?
Exactly. And you're like, I'm not doing well enough. I need to work harder. And
and you can't work any harder because you're maxed out.
Literally.
Well, it's one of them. I think you either let it consume you, you sink, or you swim. But then you can either swim and then feel like you're sinking, but it's so important to just stay in your own lane, as you said.
Absolutely. And not nobody's journey is going to be smooth sailing. You're going to have so many bumps in the road. You're going to fail a few times. You're going to make mistakes and learn from them. I made a really funny mistake. So I decided I want to be a spin instructor. I thought I'm gonna be a spin woman. I'm gonna do this. I don't really like cardio. So I invested about 6K in bikes. I just went and brought a load of bikes. Okay, and I thought I'm gonna do it 1 week. And I thought, I hate spinning. Like the seat was so uncomfortable. I had a bruised butt all the time. And I thought I didn't really have the room in my gym I think I had like 14 spin bikes put in. And I thought, right, lesson learned. I'm not a spin woman. But that was a good lesson. That was a good lesson for me to learn. And I feel like you have to learn these lessons to know kind of what path you want to take and what's right and what's wrong. And I feel like it makes you who you are.
Have you still got your spin bikes?
I've sold a lot of them. I have 3.
I did spin once, right? And I got a chest infection after it, and I never went back.
I mean, it's very very energetic, and the instructor has to be.
You have to be shouting.
You're on the mic. I felt like Britney. Like it was very energetic, and I thought, I've just done a 12-hour day PT. I don't want to be screaming on the bike to these girls.
I know you as like the booty queen.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you are like known for that. I didn't know you did spin.
I'm not the spin gal. Yeah. Honestly, I think we did it. I think we ran it for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And the girls loved it. They were like, Bobbie, we love this. And I was like, I really don't like this.
Could you have got the girls to continue with? Oh, as in the girls that attended the gym.
Yeah, no, they loved it. Yeah.
Oh.
The clients were like, Bobbie, this is amazing, because I've never done anything like this before. But I was like, girls, it's got to go.
you got to get your own bike and get outside.
Yeah, I was like, go outside.
That is so funny. Okay, so personal branding. Now, you are the brand.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What do you think the importance is of personal branding when it comes to building a business?
Okay, I was having this conversation with one of my friends the other day, and it's so important to be yourself.
Yes.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
And I kind of got a little bit lost in social media a few weeks ago, wanting to be this, not serious coach, but I want to be educational. I wanted to kind of be this like leader. And I stopped posting things about myself, and it'd just be more about coaching and information, and I kind of lost sight of the fun side of me.
Yeah.
So it's so important to be authentic, and people buy, like, you are the brand. People, because there's so many coaches, it's like there's so many other gym brands, but people look at you and you are the brand, and they'll buy into you.
Definitely.
And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, 100%. My dad was saying this the other day. He rang me and he was like, I've got a slogan for you. And I was like, come on. I was like, I've got a slogan.
That.
I was like, what is it? And he was like, people will buy into you before they buy into a product or service. And I was like, that is a slogan. And
that is, but he is so right.
It's
such a simple thing to say, but it is literally so right.
Literally.
Because you can hire any coach. I mean, there's so many great coaches out there, but if you don't like who that coach is and like their vibe, you have to like relate to them, and you have to think, right, I like this person, so I'm going to buy into this person.
Definitely.
So that's why it's so important to be yourself.
I think that's a really good point. That's such a good point, because there are so many coaches.
Oh my God.
People buy into you from the gym as well, though. Like,
absolutely.
You've built that community. You've got that COVID backup of when people bought into you.
Yeah.
And you've really been able to sell yourself from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smashed it. So overall, what is the Bobbie Be Fit mission?
Okay, so the mission changes quite a lot.
Same.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very ambitious. I'm very driven, so I always know that I'll always strive for more.
Yeah.
But in terms of what's next, it's simply just my main focus is to scale my online.
Okay.
At one point I was like, I want another gym, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself in terms of having to have 2 gyms to run then.
Yeah.
So my mission is to build the online coaching brand a lot more.
Yeah.
And just really focus on that. I'm really helping as many women, as I possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. Are you just focusing on women on the online
female
coaching?
only. We haven't got time for boys.
I can relate to that. No, it's a good mission. That's a good mission. So with the gym, are you planning on keeping the gym that you've got and then not opening any more gyms, or?
Well, the gym, that gym is never going to go anywhere. It's my baby. It's literally like, I feel like that's part of me now.
Yeah.
And I'd never ever get rid of the gym. In terms of opening another one, never say never. Mm-hmm. It's not in my plans right now, but it does bring me so much joy. It brings me so much happiness. I love like just being able to be around more women face to face.
Yeah.
That's what I miss because I've obviously transitioned to online. I miss having that face to face connection with somebody. Because I mean, when you're working from your laptop, it can get a little bit lonely.
It can, especially like when you're just in your own thoughts as well. You're just like,
You think, oh my God, I feel like I need to speak to somebody.
I know.
But never say never. It's not off the cards, but right now it's just scaling online so I can help more women.
Amazing. So if you could go back to the start, what advice would you give to yourself?
Very good question.
Don't buy spin bikes.
Don't buy spin bikes, firstly. Is to, firstly, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Yeah. I feel like pressure, pressure's good because it keeps you going, it keeps you very motivated. Yeah. But when there's too much, it creates overwhelmed, and that's when the kind of things can start to crack. It's it's a difficult question. I'd just say just to myself and to anybody that kind of wants to start a brand, just be yourself and just be consistent and work extremely hard, and things will work in your favor. You just have to be willing to give it your all and everything and prioritize it.
Definitely. I would usually finish there, but that's the Bobbie Be Fit mission. What is your mission?
As Bobbie?
As Bobbie.
I don't even know who I am.
Exactly. Bobbie Edwards, go on. Yeah. What is your mission?
Do you know what? It's so funny. Everybody, even in my hometown, I'm known as Bobbie Be Fit.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows my surname.
Yeah.
It's so funny. What's my mission? My mission is, well, to be honest, I want to start looking more into property.
Yeah.
So I'm actually buying my first home, which is really exciting.
Yes, congratulations.
So in terms of for what's next for me is just to keep being this bad bitch that I want to be.
Yes.
And just keep scaling, keep growing, keep empowering women around me, and just being the best version of me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that is a really good place to finish this up. So thank you so much for coming along.
I've had fun.
And we will do this in another year's time because I want to see where you are.
I know, see what's next. I have no idea what's next.
We'll have 12 gyms, 84 spin bikes.
A spin instructor.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you very much.